Franco solved, I feel like, double problems from that lineup. You mentioned earlier the Joy, now also the Roger, but let's head to game number 2 here for this. We'll see if Onic Philippines could be the streak stoppers and continue their streak against AP Bren here. Now, taking a look once again, red side win rate, though, for AP Bren looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
100%.
Yeah.
See value in me.
I mean, that feels better on their side now, since it's game number 2. Again, I've been rooting for their lineup in game number 1. I was, and they had the first strong picks.
Yep. You guys both were hashtag AP Bren game 1.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, we're reminding you guys, APBR or hashtag OnicPH.
Masha is open. Masha or Joy is also open. But I think Masha should be one of the priorities for Onic. If not the Faramis, actually. They go Baxia instead.
They go Baxia.
AP Bren usually picks up the Faramis in eventually, you know, in this kind of situation. We have to take note that Masha is also open. You don't want to give that to Onic, given how good they are with that hero.
And combining it with the Baxia, that's just complete a terrible thing to watch, especially in your backline, even in your objective taking.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what Onic Philippines wants to do this time around. You know, with the fact that they went Baxia here. Again, this is the team where I expect the curveball. With AP Bren, even their previous lineup, it made sense, and you called some of those picks out there, Wolf, too. But they just weren't able to actually utilize that kind of lineup. And maybe the trade was too much. It was too expensive having the Roger and the Joy together.
Right
away!
They picked both of these up.
Exactly.
Read through it.
Let's see. I mean, this is a great combo. What if Onic just picks up Angela or Chip /.
Oh, please bring the Chip.
Oh, yeah, please. It's been banned since yesterday. Well,
yeah, it's funny enough.
In the first phase.
Yeah.
What is a self-sufficient marksman here?
We'll find a way.
No.
Even when
they go Vexana. Maybe eventually the Chip. I don't know. But you need a very sturdy kind of gold laner. Actually, they might just go for somewhere along the Freya or Ruby.
Yeah.
Maybe pick up their EXP at this point.
Okay, they take the Ruby. And
as
real quick, too, I mean, you got to take a look at this. Super Friends top 1 here alongside UA Super Yoshi for highest kill participation. Super Friends, development-wise as well, as we talked about earlier, man, he has made a ton of progress over the seasons, and it's great to see how he's kind of fitting into this. I mean, all these players here, obviously, for Onic Philippines have done a great job at getting to this point where that synergy with the Super Fam has been very apparent, and now to round out phase 1 here for AP Bren, they pick up the old faithful.
Yes, sir.
Yakai against the Baxia, so something to stop the wheels from rolling. Maybe just put it over in a corner and just make it work.
Spin to win.
Spin. AP Bren might just look for perhaps Arlot ban. Maybe if they're not that afraid of Gem's Arlot, they just let it go. But those are the heroes that can match up against the Masha. Other heroes are Terizla. Terizla and Thams should be the targets here for Onic. Put it onto Gem. But AP Bren might just be taking out somewhere along the lines of a Harith, perhaps, or a Nathan, actually. Nathan could be a good ban here.
See what they go with.
I see lots of
All right, we're going to take out the Roger. It's funny because even mentioning Gem, man, just like in the previous game, Gem is a hidden gem.
Yes.
Like, he is the most low-key, I feel like, impactful XP laner right now.
Super duper agree.
Oh, man, like, the plays he made on the previous game, too, obviously, it calls for, hey, if we want to take out, if you wanted to take out the Terizla, you could have. He had great setups there, but obviously he could also, we could actually see him play this Ruby in the XP lane as well. If they go that route, it's still kind of up in the air as we get through. That was also the Nathan ban that you just mentioned here, Wolf.
Now, AP Bren might just ban the carry and then eye for Claude in their 4th pick, their late game hero, because as good as Akai is, he kind of needs some damage in the late game, physical damage. Surely the Masha can dish out the damage, but it's more like a glass cannon build where you kind of just sacrifice yourself afterwards. So.
Speaking of Masha,
that's the stats.
Ogren, 100% win rate,
clean.
You know,
there's the Arlot.
There's the Arlot. That's a good smart ban because Escalera, man, if he does get his hands on the Arlot, we've seen what he can do with it. MVP performances. Ogwen as well, though. Like the Masha and the Luigi, dude, that is a lot of different kind of damage, right? When you talk about, I know you've kind of talked about the different kinds of damage before. I think you even mentioned Reap.
Yes, exactly.
Is one of them. So Reap is, for our viewers that didn't hear that one, what is Reap? Wolf?
Yeah, it's basically ramp damage from other games. It's like it's definitely Claude, right? So it's just Reap is like the damage output from Claude, where it will take time. Depends on it. Usually is dependent on attack speed. Burst damage, for example, is perhaps Harith, you know, because it deals big chunks of damage, as well as carry in a way.
Vexana, pretty bursty.
Vexana is pretty burst. Farsa, those kinds of heroes.
So the Lui Yi, I mean, we saw an amazing escape last week here, but I've seen a lot more Lui Yis pop up in the ranked games, man.
Yeah.
They had the inspiration, and you also have to respect the damage that she pumps out. So you kind of have like this mix of glass cannon burst right now with AP Bren. Harith to top it off.
Super Marco on Harith. And to add it with the diversion play that they can have control across the map.
Yeah.
First rule around here.
Okay,
what's the answer?
Break all the rules.
Or carry.
Okay, so still the same thing for Kelra as well.
Maybe a Kaja? Then they put the Ruby in the EXP? Otherwise, they can just go for somewhere. Actually, a Uranus is good here. But yeah, the turn is ever so reliable for Mr. Gem.
Mr. Hidden Gem.
Hidden Gem. Okay, well now for AP Bren, you're gonna be looking for their EXP laner, right? So Tirath, perhaps? Now I'm gonna be surprised if that is how do you pronounce that actually?
Dyroth.
I say Dyroth. Yeah.
Dyroth, okay.
Dyroth.
And I'm imagining the true damage that it can give for Onic Philippines' lineup. No matter how sticky it goes, you can just beat the lead by just one hit if you get the stacks right.
Yep.
But that's not a problem for AP Bren. But the question is, will they go for it?
Dyroth really looks tempting. Otherwise, you go Benedetta, I guess, for AP Bren. Or maybe something totally different, like a Yu Zhang.
A little more saber. I mean, this lineup already is kind of like risky to it. There it is. Lapu Lapu. So, this lineup from AP Bren. You guys were for AP Bren the previous game. How do you feel about this one? The lineups here. AP Bren, is it still AP Bren, or are you going with Onic Philippines?
I'm still going with AP Bren as of this point.
I know this sounds like a cop-out, but this is pretty even. Pretty 50-50, honestly. Because if you're looking at AP Bren, they are going to bank on the Lui plus the Masha combo. But then the choice for the Harith is kind of iffy for me. In a way, but it is very strong in the early stages of the game. Now, if you're looking at Onic, it's very holistic, right? Very, very standard, which is weird because when they're going now up against AP Bren, there's nothing special about what they're doing. It's a very typical box kind of composition from Onic.
It is. So you guys watching on YouTube, let us know who you're feeling once again for this game 2. Is it hashtag AP Bren or is it hashtag Onic Philippines? Give us your user ID and your user server as well for a chance to win 1,000 diamonds for this matchup. As we jump into game number 2, AP Bren facing off against Onic Philippines. They might have a taste of their first loss of the season here, both on their own different streaks, 6 and 5. Can they round it out here once again in a sweep? Lineup-wise, though, even in this early rotation, anything sticking out? We'll take a look at the emblems in just a second. There they are. Anything here, Wolf?
I guess there's really nothing that's really, different from what you typically see. Maybe the concussive blast on Kingkong, but that's actually pretty normal. So I think it's pretty standard for all the teams or the players that we're seeing right now.
I think the hardest thing about a lot of this, facing against the Lui Yi specifically, is like your head, well, there's a term, head on a swivel, right? You have to constantly, Ogren already gonna flicker out here, so he gets poked down, but you kind of have to constantly be on the lookout for where's that diversion possibly coming from? Also, where's our placement? Because think about it. You have a penalty zone in the hands of Gem. If he lands a penalty zone, you're gonna want to fight in that zone, most likely. But boom, here comes the kit from the Lui Yi. It's not going to be in your favor, especially with this early kind of damage that she is able to provide here for some of those fights. And it's great you have a Vexana as well to kind of alleviate that, but already once again, Kingkong going for it.
Heavy spin, connecting to Kingkong. Will he be pushed away? He rolls away.
Okay.
But that's heavy spin committed. Kingkong also committed his ultimate, so there's a big chance that both teams will just try to farm it all out. Especially because they run on secure this turtle. But Gem is level 3. And there's no way that they can take out this Terizla though.
Yeah, they won't be able to take